Shalom, my dear friends, Shalom and Shavua Tov. Today, the 22nd day of the month of Kislev, the year 5778, 10th of December 2017, as we stand on the threshold of the Festival of Lights, the Festival of Chanukah. And certainly a light has been kindled in the hearts of all of us who cherish Yerushalayim as the place of God's indwelling presence in the world, and the Talapiot, the Tel, the mountain to which all of the Piot, the mouths, are pointed. And particularly at Hanukkah time, we recall and reflect the temple and the look to the restoration of the temple services with miracles as great and indeed greater than those of the Hashmonaim. And we should be looking at some of those in our studies today in Shir HaShirim as we reach the absolute climax, the penultimate parasha, the 3 verses that we shall be studying today, they being Song of Songs, chapter 8, verses 8 through 10. Before we come to Shir HaShirim, we shall be looking at the laws governing the writing of the letter Pei in the tefillin and the mezuzah and the Sefer Torah when the pei appears at the end of a word, the end pei, the pei pshuta. And I hope we will also have time for studies of Rabbi Nachman, the Likutei Moharan today, to continue our study of Part 1, Torah 33. I will not this week be offering a Shavua Tov hookup, but with the help of God, I do hope to offer a Shavua hookup on today, a week, Sunday night. That will be the night of Hanukkah, this coming Sunday, a week from today. It will be later than the usual time. It will be at 19:30 hours Israel time with the help of God, and corresponding times will be posted on the Zambra website and in the weekly diary. And the theme will be secrets of Jewish survival, pointing out what I believe to be certain open secrets which are the keys to the way forward that we must take today. Secrets of Jewish survival, that will be today a week on the Sunday of Hanukkah at 19:30 hours Israel time. Today's session of our Kollel studies and tomorrow's session will be the last before Hanukkah, and because of the coincidence of the normal timing of our Kollel with precisely the time here in Israel was necessary to begin to prepare for the Hadlakat Nerot, it will not be possible for me to hold the Kollel classes during Hanukkah, with the exception of next Sunday night's hookup on the theme of secrets of Jewish survival. And our studies will be resuming after the end of Hanukkah on the Thursday after the end of Hanukkah. The Thursday after the end of Hanukkah. I'd just like to confirm the correct date for you. It is already posted on the Azamra diary, and rather than waiting for this to get the right date up on the screen here, let me just a word about our coming studies. We will, with the help of God, be completing Shir HaShirim tomorrow, and we shall be, as I say, pausing until after Hanukkah, and then on after Hanukkah we will continue with the Tanakh section of our studies, God willing, with the Trei Asar, the 12 shorter prophets, beginning with the prophet Hosea, who stands at the beginning of the Trei Asar. So that will commence, God willing, on Thursday, December the 21st, at our normal Kollel time of 1600 hours Israel time. Now, we shall shortly after resuming studies after Hanukkah be coming to the conclusion of our 27-part series on the 27 letters of the alphabet, the 22 basic letters, and the other 5 mantzpach, those that have a different form when written at the end of a word. And with today's session coming to the end pei, we have before us 2 forms of the tzaddik, and then kuf shin resh taf, that is 6 more sessions. And after that, I propose to embark on the study of basic laws governing the kashrut of our foods, and to look at the laws as they are set forth for us in the section of Shulchan Aruch known as Yoredea, the second section, which includes, among others, all of the various subjects of kashrut. And we shall be beginning with the laws relating to the prohibition against the consumption of blood of animals in any form, which leads to the need not only to slaughter the animal with a kosher shchita, which ensures that the blood of the heart and the arteries comes shooting out at the time of the shechita, thereby the so-called dam hanefesh comes out, but nevertheless there is blood absorbed in the tissues of the meat of the animal, and this blood is only removed through the either the salting of the meat or the roasting of the meat over an open fire, in which case the blood in both cases will ooze out. And we should be considering the Torah prohibitions relating to the consumption of blood and how they carry through into the laws of the salting of the meat or the roasting of the meat. Today, when our household buys a package of kosher meat with a certification, the meat is already prepared, ready for consumption. But we should be tracing the processing of the meat from after the time of the slaughter through to the time of the portioning and the cooking of the meat in these very interesting laws of melicha and tzliah, melicha salting and tzliah roasting. And not only should we be looking at the actual revealed laws as they're brought down in this work, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, not to be confused with the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch known across the Jewish world as the basic introduction to the laws of the Shulchan Aruch. But this is a set of one of a series, and we shall come to later volumes in this series as well, dealing with all of the different laws of the kashrut of food, from the salting of meat through to the prohibition of eating meat and milk together, and also the questions that arise when some unkosher food gets mixed in with kosher food. And this series was written by the late Rabbi Aharon Pfeiffer, who was an outstanding young Talmid Chacham in South Africa, who was killed at a tragically young age in a road accident, and his works endure for us and are a very simple, straightforward, and neatly apportioned introduction to these very important laws that govern what we bring inside our bodies through our food. So that, God willing, is the plan for after Hanukkah. And with that, my dear friends, let us now turn to our studies for today of the Shir HaShirim, coming now to chapter 8, verses 8 through 10. Shalom, today, the 22nd day of the month of Kislev of the year 5778, corresponding to the 10th of December of the year 2017. And we come today to the study of Shir HaShirim, Song of Songs, chapter 8, verses 8 through 10, which is the penultimate parasha of Song of Songs. It is a parasha setuma, a closed portion unto itself, and as we shall see, it serves as a fitting climax to all the exchanges that have gone before between the lover and his beloved, and we shall be following through these very precious verses with the commentaries of Rashi and the Metzudat David, and also with the Targum Yonatan. And we therefore turn first to the actual text of this very memorable passage, words of which are incorporated into, indeed, our prayer services. Ochois lonu ktano. There's a sister of ours that she's small, V'shodayim ein lo, breasts she has not as yet. Ma na'aseh la'achoseinu, what shall we do for our sister? Bayom sheyudubar bo, on the day that it shall be spoken about, when the subject of our sister will come up as to her marriage. To whom will she be married? Im choimohi nivne oleo tiras kosef. Well, if she's a wall, let us build upon her a tower of silver. Ve'im deles hi, if she's a door, Notsur oleho luach ores. We shall form upon her a panel of cedar. Well, she replies, the answer is, Ani choimo, I'm a wall. V'shodai kamigdolois, my breasts are like mighty towers. Oz hoyisi ve'enov kemoitzes shalom. Then was I in his eyes as one who has found shalom, peace. Peace, the beginning, the middle, and the end of Shir HaShirim in the mouth of the Shulamit, the one that seeks the peace. Here she has found her peace at the end of Shir HaShirim, even though the whole of Shir HaShirim has been a love song between the lover and his beloved, between the Almighty and Knesset Israel, all coming through in the words and yearning and pining of Knesset Israel and receiving prophetically his words to her and her response to him. Here at the climax of all this, we shall see presently among the different commentators who is actually speaking in the first of these verses. Who is it that is saying we have a little sister, and who is the little sister? Most fascinating and very inspiring words we shall find in our commentators. Is it the love or the beloved, some other? But it's definitely she who is speaking in verse 10. Ani choima, I'm a wall. Shodai kemigdolois, they're fully developed, my breasts, and that was when I found favor, as one who found favor in his eyes. The climax of Shir HaShirim, the concluding parasha, the ensuing verses 11 through to the end of verse 14, another parasha in itself that is really a summation of the whole story, concluding with her final yearnings and longing for him. Because where we have reached so far in the preceding sections, as we have been studying, is the time of Geulah, the time of redemption. And now the question that is being raised in verse 8 of chapter 8, we have this little sister. What shall we do for her on the day that is spoken about her? This is the latter day, the last day, the day of redemption. What do we do to prepare for it, to bring it to happen? And the two answers, well, is she a wall? Is she a door? And she says, no, I'm a wall. And when I said that is how I attained peace in the eyes of the Melech Shlomo, Melech Shehashalom Shelo, the king that peace is his. Ochis lonu ketana v'shodaim en lo. We have this sister, and she has no breast formed as yet. Let us first come to Rashi on this verse. Rashi on Song of Songs chapter 8 verse 8. He says, Ato, and now after all that, Achis lanu, sister is to us. Batachtoinim, we have a sister in the lower realms. This has been spoken by the Almighty and his celestial court. And we have this achot, shehi mitacha, u'mitchaberes, u'mitavo lehiyo simonu. He misacho, she is joining herself. The root of the word ach and achot, brother and sister, is la'achet, to join together, as when a seamstress joins two pieces of cloth together to make an invisible weave. They're joined together. She wants to be joined with us. The upper realms are speaking, and our little sister in the lower realms, she wants to be joined to us. Mischaberes, she attaches herself. Or misavo, she's desiring to be with us. Vehi ketano. Now she is small. Maktenes es atzmo mikol ha'omois. She diminishes herself in humility and modesty more than all of the nations. Ki inyan shenema lo mirubechem. Like it says in Deuteronomy, God says to Israel, not because of your being a multitude have I chosen to you. Shehem maktinim atzmam. The people of Israel, the true souls of Israel, are always in humility, effacing themselves. Achois, says Rashi, this word for sister, loshen ichui, elu kroim she'ein misachen. The lashon, the root here of achois, he says, refers to a phrase in the laws of mourning, where after a person has rent their garments after the loss of a leader of Israel or after a parent, the Mishnah says, Elu karoim she'ein misachin, the following are the tears that may not be sewn together, joined together. So this is the justification for that midrash. This is our little sister in the tachtonim, the lower realms, who wants to join with us. V'shodayim ein lo. As yet her breasts are not developed. Kinyan shenema b'golos Mitzrayim, in the way that it says about the exile in Egypt in Ezekiel chapter 16, and these are verses that are included in our Pesach Haggadah, evoking the undeveloped and immature state of Israel at the time of the Exodus. Shodaim nochoinu. It was only when her shadaim, her breasts, were nochoinu, they were firm and firmly built. Only then, behigia eis ha'geula. Only then, at the time of the Exodus, when she was ready for it with her breast, then came the time of the Geula. Aval zoi, but this one now, Knesset Yisrael, in her state of katnus, in exile, shodaim ein lo adayin. As yet she does not have the breasts. She has not yet reached the time of love, the time of the redemption. Well, we shall see how the other commentators take this. One of the things that we can discern in this parasha is, again, a building of the partsuf, a building of the form, the koma, the personage of the nukva, the female Knesset Yisrael, from level to level, from katnut to her gadlut, when she says, oh, well, I am a choma, I'm a wall, and v'shodai kamigdolos, my breasts are indeed like mighty towers. So we are seeing in this passage the transition from exile, the state of immaturity, katnut, to the state of gadlut. So continuing with Rashi on verse 8, chapter 8, verse 9, what should we do for our sister on the day when she will be the subject of the discussion to whom to marry her? That is the day when all the nations will be whispering against her, to deny her, to efface her. Like it says in Psalm 83, the psalm recounting all the nations speaking against Israel, go, let us remove them, let us efface them from being a nation, which is indeed just what is happening now among all of those howls and barking of the dogs, that Israel should not be recognized nor Jerusalem recognized. Well, let us go forward with Rashi on these verses before we come to the Targum on them and to the Metzudat David. Rashi on chapter 8, verse 9, Im choimohi, if she's a wall, im techezak be'emunoso, uv'yir'oso lihiyos kenegdom kechoimas nechoishes, if she will strengthen herself in her faith and with her yir'ah, her awe and reverence for God, lihiyos kenegdom kechoimas nechoishes, that she should be against those nations. like a wall of bronze, nechoshes, with its aspect of brazen boldness, audacity. Shelo yikonsu l'soicho, that they shall not be admitted to enter within her. That wants to say that she will not agree to intermarriage with the nations. Vehem lo yavu vo, they shall not come in her. V'lo tispat Elohem, she shall not be seduced to them. If so, if she will be this wall with her wall of protection of the integrity, of the purity of the seed of Israel and the true converts, in that case, nivne oleo tiras kosef, we shall build upon her a tower, a fortification of silver. Nehiyeh lo le'ir mivtzar, we shall be for her like a city of fortification. Ula keser, ula noi, which be for a crown and an ornament. V'nivne lo es ir hakodesh ubeis habechiro, we shall build for her the city of holiness and the chosen house of the Lord, the holy temple. Ve'im deles hi, but if she shall be a door, hasuiveves al siro, a door that turns to and fro on its hinge. Uvehekesh oleo hi niftachas, with a little knock and a blow upon the door, she gets opened. Afhi, likewise, she, Knesset Israel, im tiftach lohem, if she will open up to them, lehiyos heima bo'im bo, to allow them to come in her midst, vehi bohem, and she among them, in that case, notzur oleo luach erez, we shall have to fashion upon her a panel of cedar. Nosim betalso nesorim shel eitz, we shall put upon her door panels of a wood anirkovim, that shall be rotten. V'hatoilas gorarson v'oichaloson, the worm comes and chews at them and eats them, pulls them, drags them away. We shall see when we look at the Targum and the Matzudat David more amplification on this concept of the rotting panels of the door, if she is but a door. But she protests, as we continue with Rashi on chapter 8, verse 10, Ani choimo, I'm a wall, chazaka ba'avat dodi, I'm strong in my love of my beloved. V'shodai kamigdalos, my nourishing breasts are like towers. Says Rashi, midrashically, Eilu bote knesios uvote midrashois. These are the houses of gathering for prayer, the bate knesiot, bate midrashot, the houses of the study of the Torah. Hamanikim es Yisrael b'divrei Torah, who give nurture and sustenance, suckle to Israel with the words of the Torah. Oz ba'amri zois, and then in the Hebrew of the verse, Oz ha'yise be'enov k'motze shalom, then was on his eyes like one finding peace. Rashi picks up the word Oz, ba'amri zois. It was in my saying of this that I'm a choma, I'm a wall of strength with my breasts, the synagogues and the study halls. At that moment, that's the answer. That's how to bring the Geula. Hoyisi be'enov kemoitzes shalom. I was in his lies like one finding peace. Kakalo hanimseis shlemo, like a bride found to be complete and perfect. Umoitzeis shalom beveis balo. and she found peace in the eyes of her husband. So this is the complete yichud, when she is now come to complete gadlus, to complete maturity, and the maturity of the yichud of kala with hatan, and she's gone past the erusin into the very house of her husband. And this is indeed the real climax. And after this, in verses 8 through 14, comes the conclusion of Shir HaShirim, which will come to our next session. But having studied Rashi on these verses, now let us look to the Targum on these same verses. The Aramaic Targum on Song of Songs, starting at verse 8. Be'idon hahu yemrun malachi shmayo. At that time shall say the angels of heaven, Ilen le'ilen, one to the other. Umochalu islon ba'ar'o. There is one nation that we have on the earth. And here we see how Rashi picked up this in his comment about the, we have a sister in the Tachtonim, in the lower realms. This is the angels talking, the Malachi Shemayo. Kalilon zechovoseho. However, few are her merits. Kalilon could be translated as light, as light in the sense of not being heavy and weighty, but nevertheless there are her merits. Umalchin v'shiltoinin leislo, but kings and rulers does she not have. Lemipak leagocho krovo im mashreyose de Gog. She does not have kings and leaders to go out to fight the battle with the legions of Gog. Monavid lachosona b'yom de malilo umayo lemisak ala lekrovo. What shall we do for this sister of ours on the day that the nation shall be speaking about going up against her for war? The plight of Israel at the end of days, leaderless, with no one to fight the hordes of Gog and Magog. And at that moment, verse 9, Yema Michoel Rabbeinu d'Yisrael, that shall get up and say, the angel, the archangel Michael, the guardian angel of Israel, if she will stand firm like a wall among the nations, if she will bring money to acquire the unification of the name of the master of the world, she will put her silver to mitzvot, to the promotion of the Torah, for the saying of Kaddish, for sanctifying the name of God. Nehei anu v'atun im sofrehon, then you and I, that is God Almighty presiding over his angels. Michael is addressing the other angels, you and I, im sofrehon, together with her scribes, the teachers of the Torah, socharen lo kanedbachin de chasbo, v'leis reshul amamayo lemishlat bo, heichmo de leis reshul lezachlo lemishlat bechasbo. We shall surround her with this nidbachin, with walls of silver. These are perhaps also alluding to walls of yearning, the strength of Israel's yearning for God. There will be no authorization for the nations to rule over her. Just like there's no authority to the worm, the crawling worm, lemishlat b'chasbo, to rule over silver, to subjugate silver. Ve'afilu miskeno min pekodayo, and even if she be poor in her mitzvot, her precepts, Nivei rachamin Allah kodam Hashem, we shall entreat compassion upon her before God. V'yikar lo zechus oiraisa de oskin bo yonkin, there shall be recalled for her the merit of the Torah, which the little children are engaged in. Dechsivo alalucho de libo, which are written upon the tablet of the heart. They are standing firm against the peoples, the nations, like a mighty cedar. So these, in the words of the Targum, are the response of the celestial court to the plight of Israel in the time of the exile and at the time of the redemption. And here the standing forth of Michael before the heavenly court is reminiscent of the conclusion of the book of Daniel, where also at the time of the end it is Michael who steps forward. So after we have heard the heavenly debate challenging, well, who or what is Israel at this stage, finally in the closing verse of this short parasha, she responds, the Ahuvah, the Chashukah, the beloved, Ani choimo v'shodai kamigdolos, I'm a wall, and my breasts are like towers, Mesivi Kanishtot Yisrael, answers the assembly of Israel. Vamares, she says, Anno takifo b'peskame oiraiso keshuro, I am mighty in the words of the Torah like a wall. Uvnai chasinin kemigdalo, my children, the children of Zion, are strong like a tower. Uvahahu zimno tekenishto Yisrael. At that time, the assembly of Israel, mashgacho rachamin, that is when Israel, through this strength and fidelity to the Torah, will find favor be'enei marao, in the eyes of her master. V'yehoine sha'alin b'shlama kol diore aro, and all of the inhabitants of the earth shall be entreating her welfare. Well, that is the Targum on this section. And now we come to Metzudat David, who will show us a whole new dimension about this. And here's Metzudat David on, coming now across the verse of the same parasha, verses 8, 9 and 10 of chapter 8. Ochois lonu ketano, we have this little sister, Aki shamu achashuko asher leva choshuk tovo leo, on account of the beloved having heard that the heart of her lover is favorably disposed upon her. V'chofetz lo sheves imo, he desires to dwell with her. Sholcho amoreo ele choshuk, she sends her words to her lover. V'choytoima, this is what she says. Now look how skillfully the Metzudat David is going to bring this out. The one who is speaking says, well, we have a relative. She's a little sister, small in her stature. She does not have the breasts to give suckle to children. V'ato esh'alacho, now I ask you, Hodi'eni, tell me, ma na'aseh imo, what should we do with her? Be'ez shidu babo, lehinos le'ish, what should we do for her on the day when the subject will come up of being married to a man? Uko'imeres, as if to say, Halo ein mi yimtso shiso'eno ba'avu katnuso, v'heder ashodayim. It's as if it will not be find anybody to marry her on account of her small size and her lack of breasts. V'nimshol hu loymar. The nimshal here is to say, Achar havtochas ha'geula b'vei hazman, after the promise of the redemption, when the time will come, Yoimru b'nei Yehuda, they shall say the children of Judah, Hinei achenu b'nei aseres hashvotim. Behold, our brothers, the sons of the 10 tribes, ketanim heimo, b'maaseh hamitzvos, they are small in the work of the commandments. Ki od hoyu ba'artzom, heduchum malcheim achrei Hashem, for when they were still in their land, before the exile of Sennacherib, already their kings, the kings of the northern kingdom, the kingdom of Israel, turned them aside from going after Hashem. V'afki begoylo, how much more so in their exile. V'gam lo nimtso emohem ba'alei chochmo umado k'derech she'oyu imi b'vayis hasheni. And more than that, there is not to be found with them masters of wisdom and understanding in the way that there were with me in the time of the Second Temple, when only Judah and Benjamin were in Israel and the 10 tribes were in exile. There Judah had Anshe Knesset HaGedoylo, Mehem Neviim, they were the men of the Great Assembly, and some of them were prophets. But the 10 tribes could not find anybody to give sustenance to them, Mechalav chochmas Torah, from the milk of the wisdom of the Torah. And if so, how will they be worthy of the Geula? That is the question. How will the 10 tribes come to the redemption? And he answers, if she's a wall, it's as if the lover now sends his words to say over his counsel. If she is closed up and sealed like the structure of a wall, she did not sleep with the sleepings of a woman, with the lying of a woman in a bed with a strange partner. To lose and to break her virginity. If she's still pure, if she's still closed up inside in virginity, azai nivne bishvilo armoin kesef l'sheteshiv bo yechidi mibli baal. Then we shall build for her a tower of silver, so that she may dwell in it alone, without her husband. But is aneg lo sheves ba'amon kesef, and she shall delight in dwelling in a palace of silver. If she will not delight in dwelling under the dominion of a husband, if she'll not have delight in dwelling under the rule of a husband, if she is a door, if she did not guard her virginity, if she was like a door that is opened and closing, we will have to make for her a prison with a strong structure. It'll have to be guarded from planks of cedar, so that nobody will be able to get close to her. here Metzudat David is somewhat diverging from Rashi and Targum by indicating that if she's a door, we shall have to put upon her the panel of cedar. He seems to be turning it that we had in the Targum that the fortification would have to be stronger so that no worm could get into it, no serpent could get through and eat up the wood of the erez, the cedar. So he's, according to Metzudat David, he's making logic of the verse by saying we'd have to have a structure for stronger than mere panels of cedar wood that the worms might penetrate, in order that nobody else can get close to her if she's still so weak. V'teshev bedudo v'sheimemo, she'll have to stay still, dwelling alone and desolate. In other words, if she's going to be strong like a wall, well, she'll have it good and fine until the final redemption. But if she's still wavering like a door opening and closing, she will still be suffering. Hanimshal. Here the nimshal is ke'ilu hamokim baruch hu meshiv. It's as if the Almighty is answering. Im hayu kechaymo v'lo ya'azvu likones benehem me'oib de galilim ledavka bahem. If they were like a wall, and they did not permit to enter in their midst any of the worshippers of idols, to be attached to them, they too, the 10 tribes, will also be worthy of the temple. This is the counsel of the Almighty to the 10 tribes to cast out idolatry, not to join with the idolaters. But if they open the door and they come in among them, they will have to sit more yet still in the prison of Golah, of exile. And she says, no, ani choimo, I'm a wall. Verse 10 of chapter 8, Onso hachashuko v'sholcha amaroa lemo. The beloved Knesset Israel answers and sends her words to him to say, Haloi ani kechoimo, I'm a wall. Ki shomarti makoim besulai, I guarded the place of my virginity. V'lo shochav mi oisi, none slept with me. Ve'ime ki shodai hemo gedolos kemigdalos, and if truly my breasts are great like mighty towers, ha'ma'orim taivos ha'manoafim, which arouse the lust of the licentious fornicators. Mikol mocham ani shomati es atzmi. Nevertheless, I guarded myself. Ucheilo imeres, and it's as if she is saying, Hoil v'chein, since this is so, Ra'uyim kein ani lo sheves ba'amon kesef. It is fit that I should sit in a palace of silver. V'teishev akaroivo imodi, and that karoivo, that relative, the 10 tribes who are the relative of Judah, who is the Knesset Yisrael, she, that relative, the little sister, will dwell with me. As we shall see in the continuation of the commentary of Metzudat David on the closing portion of Shir HaShirim, the coming parasha, verses 8 through 14, the theme of the reconciliation of Judah and the 10 tribes is absolutely foremost in his eyes as the key to the Nimshal. So here he specifies, Metzudat David on chapter 8, verse 10, Hanimshal hu ke'ilu beis Yehuda toshiv loimer. Here it's as if the house of Judah will answer saying, and remember Shlomo, king of Israel, was from David of the tribe of Judah. So Judah, through the prophecy of Shlomo, about the end of times, is putting into the mouth of his tribe Judah to say, Haloi ani loi dovakti be'odei kochilim. I never attached to the worshippers of idols. I do have masters of wisdom and understanding to give me nurture from the milk of the wisdom of the Torah. It is only fit that I should return from exile for the building of the Holy Temple. And on my account, in the merit of Judah repenting, on my account, Yoshuvu gam hemo, they too, the 10 tribes, shall return li'artzam, to their land, v'yizku levinyan beis hamikdash, they shall be worthy of the building of the temple. What beautiful, inspiring words here from the Targum. Oh, zoyisi ke'enov k'moses shalom. Then was I as one finding peace. Here, the beloved maiden Israel is now taking pride before the other maidens. She's addressing them now, turning to them. Then I found peace in his eyes. V'omro, she says, Oz k'dibarti hadavorim o'elu. It's when I said those words, this resolution of Judah to apply to Torah and mitzvot, and in that merit to bring also the 10 tribes back for the rebuilding of the temple. I was in his eyes precious and honorable. Just as we give pride and honor to one who is truly seeking after peace. Is not this the very essence of Israel? Shalom, truly seeking peace. U'moitzes oiso, and finding it. Ki hu tav be'einai ma she'oyisi machazeres. Ki hu tav be'einov ma she'oyisi machazeres achar hasholom hakrivo. For it found favor in his eyes that I was constantly searching after peace. Shalom hakrivo, that there should be peace nearby. As we pray 3 times a day, Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha, put peace, goodness, and blessing. I was constantly seeking after peace. V'nimshal hu la'achodim im hamoshel, and in the concluding words of Metzudat David on his remarkable Perush, on this remarkable section, that was the Mashal and the Nimshal are in a complete unity with one another. So with that, my friends, we conclude our study of Shir HaShirim for today. I think you'll agree with me, truly quite outstanding and remarkable section of this most amazing and beautiful work. And presently we shall come to our study of the Hebrew letter End Pei after a short interval. Shalom again, and let's go back now to the next section of our studies today in the letters of the Hebrew Aleph Bet. Shalom, today, the 22nd day of the month of Kislev of the year 5778, corresponding to the 10th of December of the year 2017. And in our study of the Hebrew letters as they are written in the Sefer Torah, the Tefillin and the Mezuzah, we come today to the natural sequel to our study in the last section of the letter Pei Kefufah, the Pei when she is bent down as she appears at the beginning of the word or in the middle of a word. And today we come to the form of the Pei Peshuta, the Pei that has been Peshuta, she's been straightened out and she's extended downwards as she appears at the end of a word as one of the 5 letters of Aleph Bet that have a double form depending on whether they're at the end of the word or in the beginning and middle. Mantzpach mem nun tzadi pei chof pei is the last but one of these letters that we shall be encountering. The next letter, also letter tzadi, also has the double form, and after that it's all letters that have only one form, the kuf resh shin taf. But for now, the pei peshuta, whose form is integrally related to that of the Pei Kefufah. The Pei Kefufah, the form of the beginning and the middle, in our last session we studied its form, and the difference between the Pei Kefufah and the Pei Peshuta is obviously that in the case of the Pei Peshuta, the right-hand leg, instead of being kneeling down, bent over, as in the Pei Kefufah, she is straightened out. And unlike the Pei Kefufah, where the scribes are particular to allow the form of the letter Bet come out in relief in white against the black of the outline of the letter, there is no such necessity in the form of the end Pei. It's one might say that there is somewhat the form of a large suggestion of a Yud or a Vav, but certainly this is not emphasized in the discussions about the form of this letter. She's called Peshuta because of the extension of the leg downwards, way beneath the bottom of the base of the other letters. In the case of the other letters, we've already seen that the letter Pei Kefufah, her lower base extends down below the baseline of the other letters, which is parallel to the base of the whitened letter Bet inside the Pei Kefufah. Now, so therefore, as we've already established, the height of the Pei Kefufah is at the very least 4 plus kulamusim to accommodate the nekudah, the point entering into her, to form out the shape of the letter Bet and to have it not touching either the roof or the base of the letter. Well, now the Pei Peshuta must have a height of 5 kulamusim, and this is so that the right leg of the Pei is going to be sufficiently long that if it were bent upwards so that she's sitting on it like the Pei Kefufah, the base of the Pei Peshuta would perform that function. It has to be ideally milachatchila the same length to be able to get folded up. So the letter is at least 3 kulamusim wide, 3 breadths of the nip wide, and its height 5 kulamusim, which means that 3 kulamusim is going to be the height of, is the same as the height of most of the other letters, and another 2 kulamusim, 2 nib breadths extending downwards. So this is the only real difference between the pei peshuta and the pei kfufa. The left-hand side, where, as we've seen in the case of the pei kfufa, the left-hand face of the letter is formed by an inverted Vov entering inside her, so too in the case of the pei peshuta, exactly the same, and the inverted Vav is entering inside her. And the head of the Vav must not be touching the root of, must not be touching the roof of the pei, but the Vav itself must be in contact with the letter pei. And the right leg has to be clearly and obviously longer than the upside down Vav, because if the right hand leg is not sufficiently long, as we shall see in the laws as brought by Chofetz Chaim, if the right leg is not sufficiently long, then this may invalidate the letter. Well, now, coming then to the Mishnat Sofrim of Rabbi Yisrael Kagan, the Chofetz Chaim, on the form of the pei pshuta, he says the pei pshuta has to be made milchatchila with a zavit, with a squared corner on the upper right-hand side. And this is the same as we had in the case of the pei kefufa. We saw that the right-hand upper corner must be squared, and this is one of the things that differentiates the pei from, for example, the reish or the chof peshuta. The letter chof peshuta, if it were not for its very long extended leg, which also comes down like the pei peshuta, the chof peshuta has the same form of the letter resh, with the exception that the right leg comes down beneath the line. And the letter resh specifically has a rounded upper right-hand corner. So this must not be done by the scribe in the case of the pei, either the pei pshuta or the pei kfufa. They must have clearly angled upper right corner. Continuing now with the laws of the pei pshuta in Chofetz Chaim. So the leg must be sufficiently long on the right-hand side to have the measure that would be fitted to turn this into a pei kefufa if he were to bend the leg upwards. Now, b'diavad, if the scribe had not written the right-hand leg sufficiently long, the question is, what would be the absolute minimum that the leg could be descending to still keep the letter valid? And the law is that if the right leg extended down below the level of the inverted Vav, at least the height of a Yud, that is the minimal length of the leg to render the pei still valid. And if we found a case where the scribe had erred and had not extended the right-hand leg sufficiently downwards, the full 5 kulamusim, but it only extended it down as far as a height of a yud below the level of the inverted vav, then the letter would still be valid in a Sefer Torah, Tefillin, and Mezuzah. However, it must be corrected. And this correction is permissible not only in a Sefer Torah, where any letter may be corrected because we don't require the letter to be written kesidran, but even in Tefillin and Mezuzahs, if the letter had already been written with a shortened right leg, the scribe would be allowed, even after he'd gone forward and written more letters, to correct the pei, because as long as the length of the right leg is a minimum of 1 yud height below the level of the head of the inverted vov, then the letter is still b'diavad valid, and therefore when he extends the letter, he is not creating something that was not there beforehand. Again, then, concluding these laws of the letter Pei, he must be certain that the inverted Vav is not positioned with the head of the Vav pointing outwards. Because if the head of the Vav was pointing outwards, the letter Pei would be too close to the form of the letter Taf. And the letter Taf is made up of a Dalet with an inverted Vav, but pointing outwards. But in the case of the Pei specifically, the head of the inverted Vav must be pointed inwards. And the Vav must be in contact with the roof of the letter Pei, as in the case of the Pei Kefufa. So with that, we conclude our look at the letters of Aleph Bet for today, and we'll just take a very brief interval before coming to some closing teachings from Rabbi Nachman. Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll come to that in just a couple of minutes. And for now, just a very brief interval. Shalom. Today, the 22nd day of the month of Kislev of the year 5778, corresponding to the 10th of December of the year 2017. We continue now with our study of Rabbi Nachman's teaching in Likutei Moharan, Chelek Aleph, the first part of the two-volume Hebrew original printing, teaching 33, Torah Lamed Gimel, Mihu Isha Chovetz Chaim, who is the person that desires life. And we are coming now from the beginning of section Zion, which we shall look through yet again to pick up the thread of where we had left off in the previous session. Every person is capable of having a taste of the light of love that is contained in the faculty of da'at, the knowledge and understanding of God. A person can taste the love that is contained within this knowledge and awareness. Kol echod lefi bechinoso, each and every individual according to his aspect, his particular level, his nature, his character, his attainments, his progress. Here is characteristic of the teaching of Rabbi Nachman that the Torah applies to each and every one of us, no matter who we are, in what situation we are, what is our past. Everybody is able to follow these pathways. Even now, within the days, that is to say, within the revealed time of the creation of the world we live in, with its successive revelations day by day of new levels of understanding, even within this more external understanding, we can attain to the hidden love within. When the person will bind his heart to his knowledge of God, his awareness of God, his wisdom, the heart, which is the seat of the person, the seat of their desires, their yearnings. This must be bound up with the consciousness of the sechel, the chokhmah, bina, and da'at of the person. The lower levels of the individual he must seek to bind with his upper levels, divine consciousness. For every one of Israel knows that there is a God in a general way. Every Israelite soul knows that God is there. However, the wicked are under the power of their hearts, their lower lusts, which deflect them from the true service of God. All of the different attributes, the different characteristics, the different divine aspects that are revealed through creation, through time, every day by day, every passing hour and minute. It's all revelation of different aspects of God. They're all actually encompassed in the heart. It is the heart that is the seat of our worldly awareness. Like our sages of blessed memory have said in the Holy Zohar, the loving God desires the heart. On one condition only, that the person will direct his heart to heaven. No matter where a person is, wherever the person has come to or reached, they can make this connection between this world and the hidden world of love within it by directing the person's heart to the heavens in fear and awe and reverence of God. Ki ikoron shel amidos hu halev. The very essence of all of the different attributes revealed and of all of our own traits and characteristics, they're all in the heart, they're all seated in the heart. Therefore, when the person binds his heart to his higher knowledge, in the seat of his awareness, every Israelite, good or better knows there is a God in general terms, that he now, through looking into his heart and into the world of attributes, traits that is revealed within and through his heart, then he knows that all of the earth is filled with his glory. He makes the connection between the higher wisdom of God and the actual earth being filled with the glory of God. And he attains a knowledge of the Torah. When the person subjugates and submits his heart to this higher wisdom, his heart is in his own control. He takes, or she takes, control over life with determination to do what they intend to do, what leads to their purpose. Then also the attributes in the person's heart, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the way the person reacts to the situations around them, all of this, it's all now joined up and encompassed in the person's da'at, their higher knowledge. And then the midos, the person's worldly characteristics and traits and attributes and knowledge and understanding of the world, their ego level, then receive the light, the through this connection between the heart and the sechel, the wisdom. That is how the heart, within this world, we can receive the light of love that is rooted in the holy da'at. That is when the person is able to see and to attain the light that is treasured up according to their level. And here again we see the connection between this present teaching of Rabbi Nachman and the teaching we studied in Liktumran Chelik Aleph, Torah Tesvov, teaching 15, called the Ur Haganuz, where again the whole pathway was to join the heart to the da'at, to elevate the attributes in the heart, particularly the yir'ah, the fear in the heart, to elevate it to its root in da'at, and that way we enter the world of love. What happens when the person performs this joining of the heart with the sechel, the divine intellect? The person is able to see the hidden light. Which is that hidden light? That is the righteous tzaddikim with their teachings of life. The essential Torah, that was until now hidden away, treasured up from the person. But when he will subjugate his heart to his higher intellect, then the heart, which is the root of all of the midot, the revealed aspects of the person, then the heart will receive the heart is then opened, receiving the love contained in da'at, in the divine knowledge. This is the love that was in potential, in existence between the Holy One, blessed be He, and Israel prior to the creation. That is to say, the original purpose of the creation of the souls by God was to bestow upon them this love, the supreme love that can only be bestowed through the Torah and the commandments that come through the descent into this world with the exposure to the attributes of this world, through which when we elevate them to the divine knowledge, we come to attain this love, which was the original purpose of creation. And with the help of God, we shall continue with this teaching in our next session. So that's it for today, my dear friends. Shavua Tov V'Vorach, a good and a blessed week. I will not, unfortunately, be able to offer a Shavua Tov hookup today, but I'm saving up for next Sunday, for the Sunday of Chanukah at 19:30 hours Israel time, for the a Shavua Tov special for Chanukah on the subject of the secrets of the Jewish survival. I'll be here, God willing, tomorrow at 1600 hours Israel time with the concluding section of Shir HaShirim and entering into the study of the form of the letter Tzadik, and also coming forward in our teaching of Likutei Moharan. With that, my dear friends, Shavua Tov Morach, a good and a blessed week from here in Yerushalayim, this holy week of Chanukah, this week of light and joy. So may be it to you and your dear ones and to all Israel. Shavua Tov Morach.